AMC's Dead Within. Why do I say that? This movie is clearly heavily influenced by specifically The Walking Dead. So I'm talking about the 2014 zombie movie Dead Within. Now, why do I say Walking Dead specifically over any other kind of zombie film or TV show? Well, the kind of tone of this film is clearly reminiscent of The Walking Dead. And even the way they kind of call zombies trollers, very similar to we have the Walking Dead cast call zombies walkers in that show. It's just very influenced. It's very obvious. So let me give you a little bit of a summary about what this film is. This is really a extremely low budget movie about the zombie apocalypse. Now, how do you kind of make a zombie film with such a very small budget and a very small cast here? Well, they've done something quite clever to a certain degree. They've basically kept it pretty much confined to one space, and this space being this kind of cabin where this couple is holed up, and they've been there for sort of 6 months, really sort of being sheltered from the sort of zombie apocalypse and pretty much keeping themselves locked away from the kind of the outside world. Now, basically, we have a kind of the couple, and they've both kind of got their respective roles in the kind of survival between the two of them. So the guy basically sort of goes out every so often to try and sort of scavenge for food and batteries and supplies and stuff like that, whilst the woman is kind of left at home to really sort of look after the home, so to speak. So the problem here is that the woman is pretty much going stir crazy and getting a severe case of cabin fever, sort of being locked away, and this is obviously leading to kind of psychological issues and a kind of growing conflict between the two of them. And that's kind of really it. This is the crux of the movie, so don't be expecting a kind of action-filled gory zombie movie, because it really isn't. This is more of a kind of psychological study about the kind of the effects it would have on kind of people in the kind of zombie apocalypse in a very kind of like closed, claustrophobic environment. Now, as I say, Walking Dead has kind of tackled this kind of thing before, and this is why this movie is so kind of evident of that kind of Walking Dead sort of feel. So what's the movie like? Well, let's talk about the acting first of all. As I say, it's really only got sort of two principal casts here, but they do a pretty good job, I have to say. That I have no real fault with the acting. They sort of show a range of emotions, and it's really, you know, pretty tense film in places. And the opening is a very tense opening, I have to say. The setting, like I said, it's all kind of claustrophobic. It's all kind of set in this kind of rundown sort of cabin, and again, I think it's sort of quite effective for what it is. There are some sort of zombie attacks and kind of you know, sound effects mainly, but the effects are kind of kept to a minimum. So once I kind of repeat, is don't be expecting a kind of effects-filled zombie movie here. The main issue here is the film is a little bit boring because it has only got the kind of the one setting. And despite the fact that this is probably technically well made and kind of well acted, it just comes a little bit boring sometimes. It's not a particularly long film, and which I think was probably the smart move, but because it really focuses on just two people in such a confined space, I can't help but just get a little bit sort of my mind's wandering after a while, because there's really not a lot to look at here. And unfortunately, that's probably due to the kind of budget constraints, but it's a fact, unfortunately. So this, I guess, is really going to be down to what kind of film you're going to like, because I will say, from a technical standpoint, there's not really a lot wrong with this movie, to be fair. For the budget that they've got, they've done pretty much the best movie that they can do, I would say. I can't really pick out any faults in regards to sort of plot holes or scripting, stuff like that. But unfortunately, it is a bit of a boring film at the same sort of time. So I'm kind of a little bit torn on how to score this one, to be honest, because like I say, on the technical side, it's actually pretty good. But for me as a viewer, I kind of found it boring. I was kind of losing interest in it, so I'm going to have to score it accordingly. So I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. If you like a kind of psychological thriller, then you kind of might not like this kind of a zombie apocalypse. But if you're more of a traditional zombie fan, or you like your horror a little bit more exciting, a little bit more visceral, then you may not be too keen on this one, because it really isn't like that at all. So 6 out of 10 for me. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.